Welcome to TildeVision Ideas. TildeVision Ideas is a program that explores ideas and concepts in the following areas: psychology, parapsychology, consciousness, ESP, dreams, spirituality, healing, creativity, quantum physics, business, wealth, and the Word of God. Today's program I've entitled Steps to Developing a Business. Now, when you develop a business, it's the same steps as if you were developing a poem, a painting, a TV program. They're just a series of steps. These particular steps that I wrote down, I get most of them when I'm in meditation, and then I kind of observe myself as to what is taking place. So, in a way, I'm observing a process. Many times the process is not visible. It's really on other realms of yourself. For instance, when I go into developing anything, I just relax myself. I don't necessarily call it meditation, but it's a series of meditation, self-hypnosis, contemplation, reflection, thinking. It's I'm relaxed. I'm very relaxed and very soothing, and for me it's so appropriate to create at that point because ideas just flow in, and I am also observing that movement. It's an inner movement. You have often heard me talk about the two basic planes, the physical and the spiritual. So it's in between. It probably is somewhat spiritual because I'm in the creative process. But I have an agenda. I have something in my mind that I want to develop. In this particular show, I'm focusing on developing a business. So what do I do? It's almost like entering a process. And that process is not visible. It's inside myself, inside my mind, inside not the brain. Brain is a physical thing. It's inside the mind. And so I get a clear idea as to what needs to be done first. And that's why I call them steps. So in developing anything in life, you usually have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Just like when you write a story, it has a beginning, a middle, and an end. So any business also has the same things, beginning, middle, and end. It's just that you may put more details with each piece. The beginning would be your introduction. So when you, okay, so when you're in the process of developing, let's call it a business now. So you must have in your mind a name for your business. We usually call things something. Once you develop or you have the name, it could come in as an inspiration. It could come in as your working mind working that name out. You're very conscious of what you're doing. When it's an inspiration, it just flows in, and you say, aha, voila. You get that aha moment. You notice it, and so, jot it down so as to remember. Then, if you develop a name and you feel it's unique, it is special, it is extraordinary, it's original, what you want to do is you want to protect it. So you may decide to do three things, or maybe one of these three things. You may want to register the name so other people don't have readily access to it. It's yours, it's your intellectual property. You may decide to copyright it. So, or you may want to trademark. These are just words that they use, but it's basically a means for you to protect that which belongs to you. Okay. Many people, especially when they write a poem, when they don't want to spend the money in registering it, copywriting it, so they'll write it and mail the poem to themselves and not open it as proof that that belongs to them. But the other way to me is it's legal, and of course you might have to pay a small fee, but it will be secure. So when something comes to you, let's say the name of your business just flows in, you always want to attempt to know how it flowed in, how it came in. Were you thinking of something? Did you see a picture of something? Did you hear a word? Or did it just, you were doing something totally different and it just popped into your mind? A lot of people say, oh, it just popped into, and it feels just like that. Okay. Sometimes, I do dream work. So when I'm working with the dream, I'm interpreting, I'm in that process. So it's, I'm working with symbols and an idea comes in. Sometimes it's a title for another poem, or it's a name of something that I need to develop for a lecture and do a TV show. So with me, it works that way. It's all a process. It's the creative process. I'm just sharing this with you so that you know how your creative process comes to be. Okay. Then when we get an idea, I'm very visual, so I will see it. I see things. When people speak, I'm very visual, so I'm very graphic. So when they speak, instantly, I get an image. And I giggle because my sister is like that, my daughter's like that. Joey, my friend, the director, today Jonathan is directing. Thank you, Jonathan. So we're so visual, and we could literally draw. And I do draw. I do little vignettes, little scribbles. Okay, so to go back to the title of this show, so you either see it or you hear it, or maybe sometimes you don't hear it clear. You hear it kind of muffled, or like the words didn't come out clearly from the person's mouth, or you heard them wrong, or you heard them different. And that's what we're looking for. It is different from the norm. It's very original to you and your style of accessing information. Okay. Did it come in a vision? I differentiate a vision from imagination. So a vision it just pops up. And imagination, you're daydreaming, you're relaxing, you're caught up in reverie. And so you are imagining, you're using your intellect to imagine. That's different. That's conscious and that's willful. But a vision, you had nothing to do with it. It just came in. And it's pointing to something or someone or something to be done. So keep track of these imaginings, these images, because that's your creative self allowing itself to be seen by you, this you. Okay, so I know that it may sound complex, but when you get in it, you will notice that it makes a lot of sense, especially to people that have had these experiences. Okay, and or another way that and this has happened to me, and I'll give you, for instance, I use the word for my show, TildeVision Ideas, and even though I combine the two words, tilde, which is part of my name, and the word vision, I put a capital V for vision in the center, in the middle of that word, and other people have copied that, and it is funny because to them it doesn't have meaning. They just saw that, they saw it and they copied it without knowing the background, why I did that. I don't advise copying. If you feel you must copy, always improve on it, make it different, make it your own. Uh, because we get ideas from whatever we see or hear or read, so we get ideas. But don't plagiarize, don't steal. Come up with if you stay with it, you will come up with something original. Okay. Whenever I'm working with anything, so I always address the 5 Ws. It's who, what, when, where, why, and I always add which, because which differentiates which one, this one or that one. So a choice needs to be made. The next one, how was the inception of your business idea? Inception, when did it begin? When did the idea germinate? How did it come? So you want to know this for your record, for yourself. Also notice I always call there are certain, life is a series of moments, I know that. What I'm looking at is there are some moments that are more impactful. They make an impression on you. I call them pregnant moments. They're heavy laden with mystery and revelation, and so I call them pregnant. And I begin to write, and I can attest to this, that I write very quickly, and I can write pages and pages. And the reason I write quickly is because it's coming in, it's being downloaded. It's as if I was able to tap that moment and it burst open, and it gave me a multitude of ideas, and I have to write real fast in order to capture all those different ideas. Okay, so to continue. Another thing that you want to do in your business idea, of course, it's separated into 3 major parts. So it's the development, the advertising, and the marketing of it. So you've broken it down into those 3 major parts. Now each part then gets separated into many other parts, and that's where your details come in. So you want to think of a designer. You're designing your business. You're making it up as you like it, as you love it to be, as your passion dictates. You must be passionate about your business. Why passion? Because if you're not passionate about it, you will become bored. It becomes second nature. You want to keep it somewhat alive. So passion requires some energy from you, some fuel, and you need that, because you're going to need that energy to at least write it out, and then to implement it. You need that go power, that energy, that enthusiasm, that motivation. So I advise that you, like myself, I write it out in words, and then I draw pictures. I always draw pictures, and I call that honoring it. It's like similar when I share with the public about dream interpretation. I honor the dream by drawing a little drawing. Okay. So I already explained to you that you break it into parts. Why? Because each part is very specific, very unique, and certain things need to be done within those parts, so that you have a beginning, middle, and end in that part. For instance, in the design of it. So the design includes your packaging, branding the name. If it's so original, register it. Okay. So if you don't know how to break it up, just write the whole thing down as it comes to you, and then later on, as you begin to reread it, to tweak it, to correct or add or delete. So you want to, it serves for a little bit of clarity, at least in your mind and on paper. So in the developing, so I already mentioned you name it. Then just briefly think of legal terms, things that you may need. You may need a lawyer, you may need an accountant, you may need an office worker. Let's say you can't hire people, but I would advise hire a lawyer. They know the law in case that you're not sure of certain things within your business. Why do I say, keep track of legal things? Because you're developing it, you're working on the foundation, and you want your foundation to be strong, to be stable, because upon that foundation, you're going to put pillars. The pillars are the things that will hold up the structure of your business. The pillars couldn't be anything. It could be your own personal traits and qualities. In my case, I often think of truth, of clarity, of love. To me, those are important things. So I would need to include those things in anything that I do. Because if I don't have truth, then what am I dealing with? Now, very briefly, and I didn't mean to show this, but so I drew. And you see all the pillars I put? So many pillars. The more, you don't need that many. But just know that, like a house, so you have 4 corners, so you make sure that they're stable. Okay. When you're developing your business, don't make it the run of the mill. Therefore, you need to differentiate. You need to make it your own. The things that motivate you, that move you, that interest you, the things that you like and love, the things that you feel passionate about. I could be in someone else's show, and I may feel out of place because that's not my forte, that's not my strength, that's not my thing. So I may feel a little bit out of place, especially in certain conversations, because I don't connect or relate. But when I talk about my dream, my business idea, then I get fired up because I know it, I understand it, it moves me, it motivates me, I like it. And so for you find your own niche. What aspect of your business moves you the most? Because there are aspects to the business, there are parts there. Which one grabs you, as so to speak? Okay, so you want to be set apart. You don't want, let's say you're developing a grocery store. You don't want to be just like any other grocery store. So you may want your window display to be different. You may look at the service. You want to service the people differently, or the products that you bring into that store. So always look at your traits, your qualities, your expertise, who you relate with. That's so important in life. Who's a team player and who's not. You need this. You should surround yourself with people that at least you have like-minded, that there's something in common that you can share. That it doesn't necessarily need to be an outer thing. It could be something, an experience that a person is going through, and you've experienced something similar. So you have that in common. You can connect. You need that connection in life. Those connections add to your life and your living and the joy of the moment. You'd be very surprised. If you just try it, you will notice what I'm talking about. It enhances life, and it enriches that moment, and you come away feeling nurtured, and you also are nurturing the other. I always say life is a two-way street. It's a give and take. It's a sharing. And it is so wonderful. And I always see life proving itself back to me. All right. So have an ingredient in your business that is so unique, so different, so original, so breathtaking that I call it the mystery ingredient, the secret sauce. And that, like sometimes when people come up with a formula, like, the guy from the Kentucky Fried Chicken, he had a secret. That's his formula. That's his particular gift. And so that you have to guard and protect also, because if you give it away, then everybody will become like everybody else, and no one will be standing out. And you want your business to stand out in some form or fashion, either in service. I always say over deliver, overdo. Trust me, it works. It works if you work it. Why do I believe this? Because I have tried it practically all my life, and it works for me. It really works. Some people sometimes say, "Oh, you give too much," especially with information. You give too much. I don't think it's too much. I just give. To me, even if it doesn't come back directly from the person I'm giving to, I believe in God, so God gives it back to me in other ways, in other forms. And so when I need something, there is always, always, always someone to help me. And it happens all the time. And I am grateful. Oh, and something else that I failed to say a little while ago, that what you expect, you get. So you expect it and you see it and you get it. And I have another saying, which is from Scripture: if you believe, you will have. And it's so true. When you believe, it's the faith that's inside your belief system. When you believe, you have. And when you have it, obviously you got it. So and there's another one that I say. So expect and get, believe and have. I forgot the other one at this very moment, but nonetheless, it'll come back to me. Now, the secret sauce, that special something, that uniqueness, that essence, that's a little twist. It is a tiny little twist, but that twist, it's magical. Why do I say it's magical? Because it's like pivoting. It's like turning on a dime. It's a quick twist, and you see it and you sense it, and when you exercise it, it comes to fruition. Okay, so there's another little saying that I have: with God, all is possible, and everything is possible. Everything can be done. And everything can be done. It requires time and effort, of course. A little skill, a little love. So you've already named your project, your poem, the TV show that you're creating, your business. You try to brand it, make it so that it's attractive. It's called branding. You brand it. I don't know why it made me think of when we brand cows, you put your stamp on it, you put your name on it. And that's, I guess, it's similar. You're branding it, you're making it your own, you're possessing it, you're the owner, you're the inventor. So, what else? Develop a team. So a team could be made of a partner, another person. Could be 3 people, it could be whatever, 10 people. So just a team of like-minded individuals that will assist you. And likewise, always remember, if they assist you, you assist them. It's a two-way street. It's give and take. It's sharing the love. So you want this team. Remember a little while ago I said you need to develop, to advertise, and to market in order to sell your idea, your business, whatever. So you should have someone that is good with the development of it. You should have someone that is good with the advertising, and someone that's excellent in marketing, because the marketing and the sales is what brings in the money, the wealth, the prophet, and it is freezing suddenly in this room. It's like blowing cold air up my feet. Let it stay there. So, um, you're going to meet challenges. Now, challenges, um, I have done so much research because I had been working some time back. So a challenge is a problem, it's a difficulty. It could be with materials, it could be with a person, it could be with the idea itself. It could be a restriction, it could be a challenge, could be someone hurting you or someone hitting you, mutilating your ideas, telling you, oh, that's not going to work, putting it down, killing your dream. So that's killing. It's it's any obstacle, any restriction to the flow of your creative ideas. Fears, oh my gosh, fears and doubts, that's the worst. If you have fears and doubts about your business, you got to either get rid of the fears and doubt, adjust them, twist them, whatever, change them, modify them, get therapy, because it will stop you. It will incapacitate you. It will immobilize you. It will ruin everything. So you need to get rid of the fears and the doubts. Good healthy fear, good healthy doubts allows room for you to fix and for you to adjust, because that's part of developing the business. You're tweaking. You try something, it didn't work the way you wanted it, you tweak it, you adjust it, just you fine tune it, like when you do a radio. So you know that you have these barriers, these obstacles, these I call them boulders on the path. You want to be able to know each one and to allow a certain amount of time and effort to each one, plus energy, to change it, because it will require time, energy, effort in developing any business. Also, see what you already have. You probably have so much. It could be internal, like qualities and traits like steadfastness, fortitude, strength, courage, braveness. It could be those things. It could also be a skill or a tool that you have. And so you want to know what you have at your hands, at your disposal, the inner things and the outer things. Well, the outer things could be a car, a telephone, a cell phone. It could be contacts, friends. It could be a series of money. Yes, money. You need a certain amount of money. Are you giving me time? No. Okay, so just shout out the halfway mark for me.
1 minute to add.
1 more minute?
Yeah.
Okay. So you want to be able to know these things, because that's what you have to work with. If you don't have what you need in order to create your business, then look around and see what friend, what family, what acquaintance has what you need, and see if you can barter, trade, because we are not born all gifted, but money is essential. A little bit of money is important to get your show off the ground. You want to be able to, for the show, open the curtains and have everything there, like the band and the song and the music and the lyric. And so, there's my phone. So I'm introducing my show. Thank you for watching TildeVision Ideas. TildeVision Ideas is a program that explores ideas and concepts in the following areas: psychology, parapsychology, consciousness, ESP, dreams, spirituality, healing, quantum physics, and business wealth. As you know, we are always looking for talent, and we thank you for watching the show and calling us and letting us know that you have learned something. Hopefully you have learned. I love to teach and share. And also for allowing me to serve as a catalyst in the healing process of those people that come and see me. And so I welcome you and I thank you for trusting in me, in my integrity, my ability to do healing work. And I'm ever grateful, because that's one of the gifts that I received from God. And of course, I further developed it by taking courses and training and going to college. And so I am very, very happy to share my giftedness. So if you ever need any kind of healing, so the number should be on the screen. My cell number is 718-753-3549. I prefer you call me on the cell, and I thank you. And so to continue, I have been talking about developing the steps to develop a business. It can be a business, it could be a project, a poem, a lecture, a TV program. It's the development of anything. And now that I use the word development, as we all know, usually a child, a fetus inside the womb, takes 9 months to develop. So when you try out your business, don't just give it a month and then say, oh, it didn't work. Don't give up that quickly. No, steadfastness, stay with it. Like a child, you don't want to attempt to give birth at 3 months or to have a cesarean at 4 months, because the child is not fully developed. So for a child, a fetus, you need the 9 months, preferably. Just like when the worm goes inside the cocoon before it becomes a butterfly, so it has an extended number of days inside that cocoon. If you break open the cocoon, the butterfly is not fully made, and so it loses its life. And likewise, when you plant a seed in a ground, so you need to nourish it. You need to give it proper soil and water and sun and fresh air for it to develop into a plant or a tree. And you look, from a small acorn, you get an oak tree. So the same way, a business idea develops in time, and then when all the steps are completed, that before you launch, a number of hours, trust me, many, many hours. And most of those hours went into the thinking, the planning, the deciding. Always issues come up that you have to make a choice. You have to decide this or this. Which one will it be? You test it, and if it doesn't work, so what? It's not failure. It's giving you an opportunity. That challenge is giving you an opportunity to try again, get up, just like a child when it's growing. So it's crawling. It stands up and it falls. Does it give up in standing up and walking? No. It tries over and over. And, big deal. So the child might cry a little bit. But hey, aren't you walking? Aren't I walking? Aren't we walking? Okay, so the whole idea is not to give up. Don't give up on your dream, because if you give up on your dream will give up on you. And you will be very sad. Now that I said giving up, I tend to zero in on certain words. I do remember this had to do with my art. I studied art at the Art Students League of New York. So I recall I didn't paint for about 20 years. There were a series of events going on in my life. So one day, I don't know why, in meditation, I decided to access that part of me, the creative, but specifically in painting and drawing. And I said to it, because in meditation you can speak inside your mind, and I said, you left me. And it responded, Lord and behold, and it said, no, you abandoned me. I was heartbroken. I didn't know that I had abandoned it. I did not know. And I cried. I really cried. How could I have abandoned something that I loved so much? I enjoyed painting. I could have painted day in and day out. So don't abandon your dream, your goal, your business idea. If you have put them in the back burner, as I call it, and I have done many times with other stuff, well, go and pick it up. Hopefully you kept some notes around or something to remember it by. Did you create a model? Did you create a poem? Did you do a painting? Did you create a vision board? You know, look it up, look for it, and renew it. Now you're older, you're wiser, hopefully. So you've learned more, had more experiences. Now you can add more to it. Look at it that way. Don't lament what was done. Don't go there. Lamenting is very sad. It's very painful to lament. I call it crying over spilt milk. My father would often say, "Oh, those are little dust that got into the milk." He says, "Blow it away and drink the milk and enjoy it." So you know, it's a parable, so to speak. He was just attempting to show me something about life. You know, don't throw away the baby with the bathtub, is it? Or the bath water. And so, you know, be able to distinguish what's useful and beneficial and profitable, and then you get rid of what's not needed, truly not needed. So to continue, I don't want to restart my program. It's called Steps to Developing a Business. I just want to be able to continue, second part. So you've developed your team, you've met some challenges, and I'm sharing with you some of the things that you can do to meet the challenge. Either face it up front, challenge it, or flee from it. Run like a bandit. You know, in psychology, we have a phrase that's called the fight or flight experience. And we find ourselves in life in many of those instances where you want to stand your ground and you want to fight for your right. And hey, I tip my hat to you. If you're a fighter, if you're a warrior, if that's your style, then go for it. But if your style is to be a little more retreating, reserved, withdrawing, you know, for choosing your battles and your fights, so then that's your style. So you flee, you abhor, you abort that particular challenge. You're not going to touch it. If you're fighting with someone that's losing a marble, to me, you're the foolish one. You know, use common sense, use your logic, use your reasoning ability. You know, should I engage or disengage and flee? Get out of here. You know, save your life at all cost. So, okay, so I give you these little hints, little ideas that I have experienced in my life. Hopefully they will help you. I also say, so if someone wants, and they say, I don't have anything. How can that be? We are all intelligent human beings. We speak, we walk, we breathe, we do things, okay? We dress in the morning, we brush our teeth, our hair. You have a lot of skills. So I always say, start with what you have. Then if you don't know what you have, then it's time for you to self-reflect, to examine your life. What do you have? What do you have to offer the world? What gift, what talent? Those are your skills, your tools. That's your creativity. So you do have a lot. Trust me, you have a lot. You're just not looking in the right direction. You're looking at the restrictions, what you don't have. I'm unable to do this. I don't have enough funds. So get off that bandwagon and join the other bandwagon of the I have. I have, and I add value, and I bring lots of gifts, and I have healing power. I have listening skills, communicating skills. I can teach. I can be client-centered. I can be self-centered. I can. So say, I can do that. That's easy, you know. So get into that. I also say, you know, experience gratitude. Because when you experience gratitude, something miraculous happens. Your energy goes up, you feel good. And people say, oh, I have nothing to be grateful about. Come on, give me a break. You woke up this morning, did you not? Your eyes open, did you not? Other people remain sleeping. They never woke up, okay? They're in the eternal sleep, as I call it. So you have. You have eyes to see? No, you don't have eyes. Okay, you got ears to hear? No, you don't have. You have hands that reach? No, you don't have. You have legs? Oh, no, you don't have legs. Oh, can you think? Hey, we have something. All you have to do is look around and maybe not out there, but look within. Okay, when I told you to develop a team, so you may decide to look for a partner. A partner usually is one other. And that one other should be almost, well, there are two thoughts about this. Almost a replica of you in terms of the ability, the skill, the desire to launch and do, or it could be the complete opposite. And I'm going to give you for instance. Many years ago, I did it's called the Enneagram, and it's a series of things and teachings. But ultimately, what they do is they're able to determine. I'm an ENTJ, so E for the extrovert. I am highly extroverted. I'm also an introvert when I read and write, especially when I'm writing. Oh, do I introvert? I don't want to be disturbed. I don't want to speak. I just want to keep like that. But when I have people around me, I want to share and speak and teach and explain and instruct. So that's the E. The N is for intuitive, highly intuitive. The T is a thinker. I'm a thinker as opposed to a sensate. I don't use my senses. I guess I do use them, but not to the extent that I use my intuition. So it's intuition, it's instinct, and it's very natural in me. It's part of me. And the J is for being able to judge, to decide, to make choices, not to be judgmental, not that, but to be able to judge and determine this or that. The strength to decide and make a choice. I have that. I don't. The only time that I really vacillated a lot in my life, I vacillated between finishing my PhD and avoiding challenges and conflicts at home. So I was betwixt, caught up in that catch-22. I would move forward one step and back to. It was the most difficult time in my life. So I finally had to give up my dream of getting my PhD. But since I could not go into the educational institution, I decided, well, I'll teach myself. Every self-help book, everything I could, every little workshop, every seminar I attended, retreats, I was there. So I got knowledge, because ultimately what I really wanted was the knowledge, the learning, that bit of wisdom. The degree would have been nice. It would have been helpful, because there are some organizations and people that really look at titles. That to them means a lot for you to have something inside a frame. But I guess everything has its place. When you go to a doctor's office, you like to see all these diplomas. You want to know who you're going to. Anyway, so also when you're developing your business, you want to get in touch with a bank, the lenders. These loan officers, they make contact, find out, what your credit score is, find out if you have other assets that, they can serve as collateral for you to get a bank loan in the event that you should need it, or a line of credit in the event that you should need it. You might decide to do this beforehand. I have not done that, but it is wise. Okay. So you want to have at least a small working capital. Why? Because you may, like right now, I am in desperate need of paper, computer paper. I use computer paper to write my notes. I am forever writing. And I didn't have paper, and I'm saying, I have to run out and get paper. Me, I love paper and pens because I'm always writing. Excuse me. So you want to have a little working capital, unless, of course, you find someone to give you a rim of paper. But, I always say, attempt to be a little independent. Why? Because independence gives you a sense of freedom, and it's healthy. It truly is healthy. It is very unhealthy to be dependent on someone. And there are some people that they feel, oh look, I'll depend and I'll get away with X, Y, and Z. No, 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 no. Be independent and share, give. You know, compensate the other person somehow. It is healthy. Trust me, it's 100% healthy, and it works better in relationships. Okay, so when you look at your great idea, so please notice if someone else has come up with a similar idea, even though yours is the best and the greatest and the biggest. So you want to know that there are competitors out there. That's your competition. The reason you have to look at them is because if you have a product or a service to sell, you want to be able to look at how much you're going to sell it for. So in that process, you're going to look at how much it cost you and how much you're going to sell it for, and what is that profit margin. You want to determine, do you want a big profit margin? That's desirable, but if your competition is selling something for $1 and you're selling the same practically identical thing for $20, where do you think your customers and your clients are going to go? Yeah, they're going to go elsewhere, and you'll end up with your product and your service and no money. When I began doing healing work, and of course, you know, there's a small fee attached to that, I remember very distinctly wanting to go as cheap as possible. I was forever so concerned with the other one's pocket. I didn't want their pocket to suffer. In the meantime, I suffered. And my friends would say, are you kidding, Maddie? All that you know, all that training? No, and you're so good at it. And so then I said, well, I'll just raise it $5. I didn't dare. But then I met someone who, they felt the complete opposite. No, there are people that feel if you're giving it for so cheap, it must not be worth much. Listen to that thinking. So people value something because they sacrificed a lot of money for it. And that brings to mind in psychology, when you work hard for something, you end up valuing it more at the end. Isn't that interesting? You worked so hard to get it, and then you value it. But if it came to you easily, you don't place a big value. So I kind of connected that theory in psychology. And I said, I wonder if this particular friend of mine has caught up to some. They didn't know anything about psychology. They really didn't. They were just more concerned with making more money. You know, that was their main focus. So so I don't know. So I hear movement. Just yell it out to me. So I misunderstood. Okay, so I misunderstood his desire for money. I misunderstood it with greed. It's not the same, but in my brain I said, oh, they're so money conscious, they're so greedy. No, because he's generous with his money in other areas of his life. So that's another thing to think about when you're developing a business, that a word may have a particular meaning for you, how you discerned it, how you perceived it in one instance of your life, and in another instance it'll have a complete different meaning. And I'll share something that just came to mind. Many years ago, 16 years ago, I was at the computer, I was writing. Something was being downloaded. And I remember distinctly hearing the words, you are to do something great. Well, I closed my computer because the word great put so much fear in me at that point in time, because I must have been writing about something spiritual or scriptural. And the word great to me meant, oh, the disciples and the apostles, they became martyrs. They were crucified, upside down, boiled, fed to the lions. I mean, oh my gosh, the fear. Never again, never again. 16 years later, and this happened just a few days ago. The same word, great, it has a totally different meaning. It totally, now it means grand, big, marvelous, fantastic, great, stupendous. And I'm saying, oh my goodness, tremendous shift, a complete turnaround. And it took place in my life 16 years later. Isn't that interesting? And this is me, that I do so much inner work, right? But I'm saying to you, you know, when you're writing out your dream or your vision board, whatever you're working with, look at the words that you use. See the impact they have on you. And explain them. Why? Because let's suppose your hearers, those that are listening to your ideas, that they don't get the wrong connotation of that particular word. So keep that in mind. Now I'm sharing. Don't think that I'm getting off topic. I'm really not. I'm still with it. I'm just giving you little vignettes of my life, little experiences I've had. Okay. So we've talked about money a little bit, and in Scripture it says, the love of money is the root of all evil. But listen to the word, the love of money. Money itself is not the root of any evil. Money is a currency. It is the means that we buy and sell. It's, you know, it's coins and dollar bills, whatever we use in this on this plane. The currency of heaven is different. It's faith. You achieve a lot of stuff with faith. So the whole idea is that unless you just want to hoard it and not use it and not enjoy it and not invest it and not give some away, so then that's a different story. But money in itself is not evil. It's the love of money. And because if you love it so much, most likely you have put money above God. And in Scripture it says that we have a jealous God, and He will have no other gods beside Him. So keep that in mind. That's my belief system, and I always share that with you. Okay, so you have this great, wonderful idea. So hopefully I have motivated you a tiny bit how to run with it and write it, like in Habakkuk 1, chapter 1, verse 1. It says, you know, to write the vision on paper, and, you know, so that you run with it. Write it out, write it, bring it from the idea, from the spiritual, intellectual realm down into the physical, concrete realm. Writing, it brings it on black and white on paper. Okay, and I've if you want to learn a little bit more of your own business, go around and find out who has a similar business already developed. See if they share with you, you know, the pitfalls, the successes. See if they want to share, because you can learn so much by listening to others that have gone that route, that road that you're attempting to travel. I just want to, I have so much to say, and I have just a few minutes, but I do want to, maybe I'll leave it for another show. So you want to understand the time period. It's managing time. It's so when I get caught up in writing, I forget about time. I forget about the world. I'm inside my own world developing a story or a poem. And so I don't care. However, if I have a deadline, that's something different. If I have a deadline or an appointment, then I'm punctual. I'm very punctual because I put it on my calendar and I look at the calendar. I glance at it now and then. Because it's sad that to forget something important. So you want to understand time and time with your idea. Remember a little while ago we talked about the birth, the child inside, the fetus inside the womb. So that takes it takes incubation time of 9 months. So you want to know, you want to gauge by when would you like to have this done and finished and completed. So you go from inception to launching. And all that time in between, what are you doing? Okay, if you're like me, I call it a brainchild. I call it, I get a whole, by the way. When I get a vision, it's complete, it's whole. Then I go, oh wow, that's great, that's wonderful. Then I have to sit down and break it up in pieces, separate it, sort it out, and label it, give it a name. Give things a name because you're able to locate it that way. So I gave you, someone has given me a single, just yell it.
2 minutes.
How many?
2.
2. Okay, thank you so much. So, just very briefly. So, when the mother becomes pregnant, so you understand that process. So, her seed and his seed, and it gets fertilized and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so then I'm rushing. So then the mother needs to take some nourishment, some food, some vitamins. Why? Because she has another human being living inside of her, growing, developing, and the child will be fed first, by the way. That's why mothers sometimes lose their teeth. Pregnant mothers lose their teeth, their hair, their skin. Wow, because they did not nourish themselves for 2. Okay, so, and then after the child is born, so then you need to clean the nasal cavities, you need to clean the eyes, the skin, you need to cut the umbilical cord, you need to wrap them, keep them warm. It's a process of nurturing, of taking care. Well, look at it that way. Your business, that too. It's your brainchild. You gave birth to it. You nourished it, you nurture it. And so you want it to live. You want it to survive. So you do everything in your power to make, especially when you have spent years, months of your life. How many minutes? 1. So I want to thank the viewers for dealing with me and my ideas as they come in. And I thank you once again. This is TildeVision Ideas, and I want to thank my director, my sound technician, my everything, my timekeeper, Jonathan Griffith, from Talking About. And I wish you the very best of life. Bye-bye now.